I went out last night for the first time in forever, and I am so hungover, but I don't know how I'm supposed to go to work on Monday. These nightclub stamps are getting, like, hello? Out of hand? Hello? What? I don't even go to places like these. Like,
She better have some hot friends, dude. You're pissing me off. Open the door. I don't care. I'm getting wasted.
I've done it now. It's too bleeding late. What they gonna do? What's gonna happen? Gonna shoot me? I doubt it. They have to catch me first. I'm like a whippet.
So, have you ever met anybody in your life that is just an absolute, genuine badass?
That's me!
Yeah, you're gonna wake up in a helicopter if you wake up.
So if you feel like I've looked like a victim, that's you. I ain't never been no motherfucking victim. But if it makes, and every time I tell a story time, some people be like, you never tell the story, you never tell what you did. There would be no story if I was not a part of it. I'm telling a story from the person that was done in, not that was doing the doing. So if you feel like I've looked like a victim, that's you. I ain't never been no motherfucking victim. But if it makes somebody out there feel better, I'll tell one little thing that I have done that I know was crazy. So boom, I was chilling in the car with a dude, and we're just gonna call this dude Babyless because that is the code name that my friends use for him. That's the name we went by. We're chilling in the car, and I'm seeing Babyless like swipe up on girls' story with like heart eyes and stuff. But it was one person I would always see him when we hung out together. He'd go to their story and kind of look at it from the circle. He never would watch it in front of me. But this one particular time we were talking about something serious, and he was like basically acting like he was paying attention, but he had an AirPod in on the opposite side of that I couldn't see, and I heard it. The girl's story he was watching, it was a bitch shaking her ass, and I told him just right there, go to the messages. You supposed to be listening to what I'm talking about, and you trying to watch a bitch dance around. He didn't want to go to the messages. He was saying, this is my cousin. You're not going to go through the messages between me and my cousin. I said, okay, watch her story again. Let's see what she looked like. This girl looks nothing like this man. Not saying that cousins have to, but me and my cousins look alike. My cousin's mama and my mama look alike, and their cousins. With that being said, I was like, this is not your cousin. You're going to be playing in my face. You could get out of my car right now. He took it upon himself to get out, but before he got out, he decided to text the girl as he's getting out. Like he had 1 foot out, door open, he texting this girl. So then when he goes to put his phone in his pocket, I grabbed the back of his coat and I proceeded to drive. I know, it was crazy. Somebody could have got hurt. But do you know how fucking much a human heart costs? And you trying to fucking break mine for less. So yes, I did do that, and no, I do not feel bad about it. I mean, I wouldn't do it now to this day, but like I said, this was a minute ago. I would not drag nobody with my car. And it wasn't just a man. I had a friend who was in my car talking shit, and I told her to get the fuck out, and she didn't want to. And then she was talking shit as she was getting out, and I grabbed her and I dragged her with that car. Yes, I did. And it was on film because she used to lie about a whole bunch of stuff.
Now, as men, we all have a point in our age, or in our lives, I should say, that we need to grow up. And part of that growing up as a man for me is coming to terms with your past and putting it behind you, no matter the things you did. Now, some things I can't get past. Some things just won't let go of me, from my childhood to things that happened in the past. I think they're going to happen again in the future. You can't control that. All you could think about is here, right now. So these guys having these bad moments, I'm glad they made it out. They're here to tell their story. But that's what we got today for you, family. We got just a bunch of guys telling their stories.
The person that replaced you was the scariest person we've ever met. The person that replaced you was the scariest person we've ever met. I lived in this commune in California for a bit. It's like a fun, like creative commune type thing.
Like a hostel.
It's like a hostel house. My two friends I live with, they're still friends of mine. I really like those guys, and they came and visited me a few months later, and I was like, oh, yo, who took my place? We were sleeping in my room. They both sat up, and they're like, I can't believe we haven't told you this. When I moved out, they had to fill my bed, and apparently that bed was filled with this like little Asian girl. She started off kind of normal and sweet, and then she started to like say like, oh, there's bad energy, and she started like saging their room. She started saging the yard. and then she starts saging the common areas. This is a big compound.
Massive.
It goes to a psychic or something, and the psychic says the bad energy isn't around you. The bad energy is you. Standing in the corner, like so annoying. Goes to the bathroom. She hadn't moved in like a day, and he opens it, and she's standing there. Freaks out because he's like, I haven't seen her move in hours, but when I went to the bathroom, she went and stood outside the door at 2 a.m. and then she shuffles away back to her spot. She's got like hair in front of her face. She's looking like the Grudge girl.
No way. No.
This friend is like a big dude, and he's sleeping, and he's like, I hear the other guy leave for work. Like in my head, I kind of woke up from that. He's like, she's in here. It's just me and her. And he's like, as I'm thinking about that, she's in here, I might get up and like maybe go sleep somewhere else. She pokes his back with her finger, like this, just kind of like it on his spine. No, hey, like that, but doesn't say anything. Just poke, and he jumps, freaks out, turns, and he's like, "What? Why'd you poke me like that?" I'll never forget this. He's like, she looked at my face and she said, I don't think you're safe in this room alone with me. And he goes, I think you're right.
I've never had that experience, but I've had some bad experiences. I was laying in my bed sleep. I was already scared to sleep by myself. The house was from way back in the 1700s where they had the Civil War. It was this house for wounded people or whatever it was. So I'm sleeping in the bed. You know how you're laying straight in the bed like this, and you can feel something on the other side of the bed, especially back then. This is in the early 90s. Back there, if you moved on the very corner of it, you're going to wake the person up on the other side. You feel these things crawling like, so my first instinct is there's two of them. It feels like there's hands like this, like they were just crawling up on me. Like something was coming under the bed and they were just trying to get up from under the bed. Like, I threw my blankets up and boom, down the steps, jumped in my mom's bed, went to sleep, never told no one. Next day I get up. I gotta go up to my room, get ready for school. I get ready for school. My bed's made. I don't know if my mom did it. I don't know who did it, but I didn't do it. My mom and them don't come upstairs very much. She done went to work. My dad, he's probably drunk somewhere, passed out. I know it wasn't him.
Bro, the car's tinted, bro. Put the window down, bro.
Oh, no.
This window's a little messed up right here. No, the window's just dark. I'm not stepping out, bro. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not stepping out. There's no arresting me. I don't have to step out. Yo, the driver's giving me consent to search the car. So I need to take everyone out the car to search the vehicle, right? Yeah, I'm not stepping out the car. You're not stepping out the car? No, I didn't do shit, bro. You gotta step out the car, yes or no? Nigga, I'm not getting arrested. I didn't do shit. Sorry, bro. Get out. You're my force. You're my force. You're going out, I'm gonna make you get out. Tell your boy to get out of the car. Don't touch me, chill. I swear to God, don't touch me. I'm not doing this.
They're clearly breaking the law. Them police over there are clearly breaking the law. I don't like watching this. I don't condone anything by the police, anything. I don't associate with them. I don't do none of that, especially when they're messing with young black people, man.
Between the hours of midnight and 4 a.m. This is a time I don't like to go out because I feel like evil is the most active during these hours. My grandma used to
rolly, having it
after 12 a.m. And she called it the devil's hours.
Why?
And it's true. During this period of time, you see the most accidents, the most crimes committed, and the most people being unalived.
That's because that's when them gangsters come out.
It's also this time, man. If you go out in the woods between these hours, you will see some of the most terrifying things. Now, I heard this story from this guy that I knew. He just got his first apartment. And
hell yeah, got up off his mama's shit.
Shifts during the day, so he would go to bed early. Well, one night, he wakes up and he's out on his balcony and he's staring at the woods, and he has no recollection as to how he got there. And so he like checks his phone, which is in his pocket. It's 3:16
Oh,
a.m.
crap.
So he's like trying to recollect his thoughts, like, how did I end up here on the balcony? Like, I would have had to open the door and everything to get out here. I can't recall any of that. So he goes back to bed, and next night, same thing happens. He wakes up 3:16 a.m. He's out on his balcony looking towards the woods. Third night, right? This happens again. And when he wakes up on the balcony, his roommate's cat, who usually is confined to his roommate's bedroom, doesn't like to come out of that room, right? Comes out on the balcony and is just staring up at him, and then starts staring towards the woods. So he shakes it off. He goes back to the bed. Well, he started to realize, like, every night this would happen. And even some nights, right, he would get up and he felt almost kind of like he was in a daze, and he would go and get some water, and he would go and like, grab something from the fridge. And the next thing he knows, like, he would end up on the porch on the balcony looking at the woods. And so he said finally one night he wakes up 3:16, right? And he's on the balcony and he's staring at the woods. And he says he sees like this man. And this man just had like this weird grin on his face. He's wearing like a suit coat, suit pants, and he's just staring directly at him. And he sees the man just like walk backwards into the woods. And he said like that just something about that man unnerved him and made him feel off. So he actually, after that night, switched to third shift, and he would sleep during the day because he felt like whatever it was would happen, between midnight and 4 a.m. That happened to a woman in Madison, Wisconsin. Now, there was this woman named
Dang!
who
Y'all see the
went into
pictures?
this house
Look at the
with her
picture.
children in Madison, Wisconsin. Now, she said, at the time, she didn't believe in anything supernatural. She really thought that was a bunch of nonsense. But she said, right away when they moved in, she would notice, out of the corner of her eye, sometimes shadows moving across the walls. She would hear strange noises that she couldn't explain. But she said for the most part, it was just a normal house. One night, she's upstairs in her bedroom and she's folding laundry. She hears talking coming from her son's room. So she makes her way over to his room. The door's closed, and she hears her son having a full-on conversation with someone. And she's like, who is he talking to, at 12:30 at night? So she opens the door, and when she looks in his room, he is not in his bed. So she starts yelling for him. She looks down and sees him next to the side of his bed, on his knees, crouched down, with his head under the bed, talking to someone. And she's like, hey, who are you talking to? Like, who's under there? And her son's like, I can't tell you. And she said, what do you mean you can't tell me? Like, who's under the bed? And he's like, I can't say. He'll get mad. And she's like, what? Who's under there? So she runs over to the bed and she looks underneath there. It's empty. There's nothing under there. So she's like, you know what? Just get back in bed. Like, just stop, doing whatever you're doing. Several weeks pass, and like on a regular basis, she keeps finding her son talking to someone under the bed, except there's no one there. So after a few weeks of this happening, she thinks maybe something is wrong with her son. So she takes him to this child therapist. The therapist like assesses him and says, you know, he seems completely fine. It's probably just his imagination. So several months pass and he keeps on doing this. Well, one day she's sitting down in the living room with him and they're talking when she notices he has some scratches and bruises like all over his body. And she's like, where did you get those scratches and bruises from? Like, what's going on? And he's like, I can't say, I can't tell you. And she's like, yes, you have to tell me, like, what is going on with you? And finally he breaks down and he starts crying and stuff. And he just starts freaking out. And then he runs up to his room. So the mom, you know, at this time is like, I don't know what to do. Like, what is going on with my son? Like, she's just panicking. Later that night, she's awoken to her son screaming in his bedroom. She runs as fast as she can. She goes in his room. She finds him halfway underneath the bed. He's grabbing onto the bed frame, and it looks like something is pulling him under the bed. So she immediately grabs him, pulls him out from under the bed. She looks under there. There's no one there. So she's like, you know what? This is weird. Like, you're sleeping with me tonight. You're going to be in bed with me tonight. So they go back to her bedroom. He lays down. He falls asleep. She's sitting in bed. She can't sleep. She's like freaked out about this whole situation.
As
When
she
all of a
should be.
sudden she hears, shh, hey, come under the bed. And she's like, what? She looks over.
No, I'm not.
Is sleeping. But then once again she hears, hey, come here under the bed. I need to talk to you. And it's like a man's voice.
I'm down.
And she's like, no, who are you? Like, go away. And the man's like, come on, get under the bed. I need to tell you something. And like, she's like, no, I'm not going under the bed.
PSA, never go under
This
there.
man, whoever he was, just started yelling obscenities and getting really angry. So she grabs her son. They get out of the house. And she said she left that night and never went back. And still to this day, that house sits there. And she said she's talked to the neighbors.
They need to
They said
bulldoze it.
Since she's moved, like several families have lived there and they move out immediately.
Don't go to sleep. He's like, drink that, you ain't gonna go to sleep. He said, he coming, bro. He said, he coming. He said, make your bed up like you in it. He said, that blue jacket that they gave you, put pillows in it. That red hat that they gave you, put pillows in it. And make it look like you sleeping. He's like, he coming. He gonna try to stab you. He's like, but how your cell, I'm talking about this nigga knew the cell, bro. He knew how the cells were set up and everything. He's like, how your cell set up, when it get dark, it's gonna get dark at a certain spot. Just stay in the corner. Soon as
Yeah,
they pop,
straight
they
up
pop
against.
everybody door at 4. It don't matter if you up or not. Soon as he slide in there, you better fight for your life. So, drank the coffee, made the bed up like I was in it, had it like curled to the top like I was like on my side. And I see this nigga. Like I'm in the corner, but I can see Buddy's face. He had his coat up with the collar part over, so you really can't see like his face for real on the camera. The camera's shitty. I don't really give a fuck. So when he slid in, he slid sideways. I brought him in. He slid sideways and had the knife on. But when he slid and I brought him in, this nigga like 120. And I threw him to where all the commissary was in the drawers. He dropped the knife. I thought I killed him. Cause I didn't get off of him. Black suits came, got me and shit. And like when I had got out, cause he was a blood, so he wasn't even, like, he was offset though. Like he ain't on no more cause, you know what I'm saying, the gay shit. So they weren't on that. So after that shit happened, and I got out the hole, everybody's like, I had $100 sack, $100 sack, $100. Cause nobody can do nothing to him. Cause he's still, you know what I'm saying, it's politics. He's still like, you know what I'm saying, it couldn't be blood on blood.
All right.
He can fight. So niggas really want, and really want nobody can do nothing with him. But probably seen me as like, I'm gonna fight him, stab that nigga. I wasn't going. And ever since then, I was just on my toes and everything.
Never go.
So you got this dude that's from the streets that took a 15-year plea deal because he didn't want to tell on his friend. Now the sad part about it is he didn't have nothing to do with what his friend was doing that day when they got caught up. He literally was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. But he stuck to the G code and didn't tell on his friend. Now this is the crazy part. Once he took the plea deal, his life got beyond worse. He didn't talk to nobody in the outside world for like 3 months. So one day he calls his mom. His mom picks up the phone and says, "Baby, I'm so happy you called. It's something I gotta tell you, but I think it's better for your daughter to tell you." So he takes a deep breath and he said, "Okay, Mom, put her on the phone." His 11-year-old daughter, Monique, gets on the phone and starts crying. As she's crying, she keeps saying, "Daddy, I wish you was here, Daddy. I wish you was here."
That hurt.
So now he takes another deep breath, leans on the wall, and exhales. He's thinking that his baby just missing. He says, "Baby, what's wrong?" As she's sniffling and crying, it's hard for her to get the words out. So she says, "Daddy, mommy boyfriend be making me do weird stuff that I don't want to do to him."
I was not expecting
wall
that.
Really quick, start looking confused, like, "What?" So he says, very angry and aggressive, "What do you mean?" Then she started bursting out crying. "Daddy, he be making me do a whole bunch of stuff. When mommy go to work, he'd come in my room and do this," and went into detail. Now his mother, which is her grandmother, is hearing everything she's saying. She screams over the phone, "God, help my baby, save my baby, cover under your blood, God." As she gets to praying,
As she
he
should.
gets heated because he can't do nothing about it. Angry and aggressive, he says, "Monique, tell your brother to be at grandma's house tomorrow. Get a hold of your brother so I can talk to him tomorrow." Monique is crying over the phone saying, "Okay, Daddy, I'm going to try to get a hold of him." So with his voice trembling, he says, "I'm going to call y'all tomorrow." She starts screaming, "Please, Daddy, call tomorrow, please." The next day, he calls his mother. His son picks up. They both are excited to hear from each other. So he cuts the happy conversation short and says, "Listen, Marcus, I know you heard what happened to your sister." Marcus, 17-year-old, says, "Yeah, Dad, I heard what happened." So he says, "Marcus," without saying too much, "I think you need to go pay a visit." His son Marcus, speaking in code, says, "Okay, Dad, I'm going to go visit him." He said, "I'm going to call tomorrow, and we're going to see how I went from there."
Let me know how I went.
His mother get on the phone and get to yelling at him right away. "Don't you see that
found that
boy
boy
over there
doing
try to do anything?"
Boy gotta
And
be
she's
hard
screaming at her
to go.
grandson, "Marcus, if you go over there, I'ma call the police." Yada yada yada. As she's yelling at her grandson, her and her grandson is going back and forth. The phone hangs up. So the next day he calls his mom. His mom picks up and says, "Baby, I'm so happy you called. I got something to tell you." He put his arm on the wall, started rubbing his head out of pure excitement. Smiles and say, "What's going on, Mom?" He believed that his 17-year-old son just got revenge for him. His mother takes a deep breath, voice trembling, and says, "Baby, Marcus just passed away last night." His eyes buck, mouth drop, heart beating really hard. He grabs his chest and say, "Mom, what are you talking about?" His mother started crying and says, "Baby, Marcus went over there with a weapon, pointed at that man's house and said what he was going to do to them." She said, "The man that took advantage of your daughter came to his door with his weapon. He told Marcus to leave the property, and Marcus said, 'Make him.' Pointed the weapon at the man, and the man got to firing and shot Marcus 3 times. He was pronounced dead before he even got to the hospital." And she started bawling. He's in complete shock, froze, that he can't believe that his son just passed away.
You sent him there,
And now
though.
he's thinking to himself, "It's all my fault." Tears start flooding his eye. He falls to the ground crying, weeping, screaming, "No, no." He's screaming out, "He took my son, he took my son." So one dude get on the phone with his mother and says, "Hey, I'm just going to hang up because I don't want to burn his minutes up because I know he going to need them." So they hang up. And it's eating him up inside. Now he's thinking to himself, if I was just there, my daughter would have never got taken advantage of. And even if she did, I could be there to protect her. And if I was there, my son would be alive right now. He looked up and started looking at the walls and started realizing that he chose his friends over his family that he was supposed to protect.
Yep.
He started realizing that his friends is not his real friends. Because he felt like if they was his real friends, they wouldn't have let him take the fall for something that they did. But now he deep into it. He can't turn back. Now a few days go by, he's still feeling sad and depressed, but he's getting back to being normal. The day of his son's funeral, he started weeping because he couldn't be there. On the day of his son's funeral, he calls his mom. His 11-year-old daughter picks up, crying, saying, "Daddy, I'm so sorry." He said, "Sorry for what?" She said, "My brother gone because of me. I shouldn't have said nothing." His heart drops in his stomach. He feel like he gotta throw up. He's thinking to himself, why do my daughter feel like this is her fault?
Right.
So he says, "Baby, it's not your fault. It's
Right.
mine." He slips up and says, "I chose not to be there.
Right.
I chose to do this time."
Right.
And she started weeping more. And she says, "Daddy, why?"
Wow.
He says, "Baby, why what?" She said, "Daddy, why did you choose to be there and not choose to be here to protect me?"
Wow.
Now he feels so disappointed.
You crying?
Like he
Is that
failed
your,
as a
is
father.
that what happened to you, my dude?
He's even ashamed to be on the phone with his 11-year-old daughter, the one he can't protect right now. He started weeping uncontrollably.
That hurt.
"Baby, I gotta call you back." The little girl gets to screaming, "Daddy, please don't hang up. Please don't hang up." He couldn't take it. He said, "His baby, I gotta go," and hung up. Now he's stressed out. He can't sleep. He can't eat. He feel like he failed as a father, a son, and now he's irritated with the dudes he been hanging around. So he doesn't call his mom for a couple of days. So one day he started feeling better and calls his mom. His mother picks up the phone and says, "Baby, I'm so happy you called. I got something to tell you." So he's confused, stressed out. He says, "What, Mom? What you got to tell me?" She said, "Baby, Stanley, the one that took advantage of your daughter and the one that took the life of your son, passed away yesterday." He jumps up with so much joy and excitement and said, "God don't like ugly. God don't like ugly." He is beyond excited and he's getting
That ain't
emotional.
good, though.
But she says, "Baby, I got something else to tell you." He thinking it's going to be more good news. She said, "Baby, Jason is the one that took his life." He smacks the wall and said, "You talking about my 16-year-old son, Jason?"
Story of Leonard, part 2, y'all.
That messed me up.
I'm at John Seeley.
Okay.
I'm watching The Godfather, yo. And the
Alright.
door is to the right side, and I could see people coming in.
Right.
And I see this old man come in. Stocky old man.
Respect.
You can tell he was an old school convict, man. He was well built. Prison ink from the 70s, man. Like, just black as hell. You know what I mean? Just different ink from now, you know? And the art was different. Thicker lines.
Rest in peace, Richard Pence.
So he sits next to me, yo, and he has a cane. So he has a cane in front of him, and he's just looking at the TV, kind of hunched. And I'm just in my peripheral vision. I'm looking at him, right? And if you know, you know, man. You can tell who's done time, bro, and you can tell he's been down a while, man. You know. So we're watching The Godfather, man, and I'm leaning back, and he's there with the cane in front of him, and he's kind of hunched back and stuff, head front, looking at the TV. He had some thick black medical glasses. If you're in TDCJ, you know what I'm talking about. It looked like fucking
Big John. Big John.
What's that damn?
Like steak glasses.
Waldo. The Waldo black glasses.
Yeah,
man.
big
Waldo
Waldo.
glasses.
Big
You know,
Waldo.
Find Waldo. You know them books and stuff. You gotta find them. When he had no glasses, that's how he had them glasses, man. Big old frames. So I'm minding my business, right? And mind you not, there's people coming in and out, you know, coming in, and they're already calling people to go see the doctors, right? And while I'm waiting, I'm watching people go in, man, and I'm there about an hour or two, and I'm seeing them come back limping and with a fucking, you know, like bandages in their stomach and shit like that, yo. Like they're operating on them and just kicking them out. No bed rest, no nothing. They're coming out like, and I'm just like, man, they're operating on these people and they're just setting them back out like nothing.
Right.
Like you're supposed to rest, yo. Like damn. Old school's on the floor, like and I'm just like, man, this shit is wild, yo. ECJ is wild, man.
Right.
They do not give no fucks. If you have a family member, man, in there, you're at the mercy of God, man, for real. They do not give a shit about it.
He's serious too, bro. I did my time, man.
Chow time comes along, and they're giving out sandwich baggage, you know? Bullshit ass motherfucking Johnny Sacks, bro. Know what I mean?
They are the bullshit ass sandwiches.
Fucking nothing but peanut butter, boiled eggs, whatever the fuck they're giving.
2 different kinds of ham. Don't spot. Turkey got the brown and white.
Nice and sweet, man. So I get my damn
Both sides.
peanut butter fucking sandwich, and I start munching on it. It's a fucking chicken patty, so it's alright.
The peanut butter or just chicken patty.
Leonard's right next to me, and he goes, "You want this?" And he gives me his bag, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, for sure, bro." Give me this Kool-Aid. He didn't want to eat nothing. So I'm chilling, and we start chopping it up. So I tell him, "Hey, where you from, school?" He said, "Oh, I'm from West Texas." He's from West Texas, man. And we start chopping it up. He's asking me where I was from, and I'm from the Valley. He goes, "Valuco? You Valuco?" I said, "Yeah, Valuco, man." All right, I said, "You?" He goes, "AB." It was an AB cat, ABT. Leonard, he goes. He gives me his hand. Shake it. You know what I mean? Shakes it like this. So we're watching there the Godfather, man. This, that. And we start chopping it up, man. He goes, "I bet you there's some good dope in the Valley." And I go, "Oh, yeah. Man, there is some good dope down in the Valley, man. This and that." He goes, "Y'all be making that crank down there?" And I go, "Crank?" In my head, I'm thinking, "Crank?" Like, I don't even know what's crank at the time, you know? I mean, I told him, "Crank, I've heard of it," you know what I mean? But down here, we don't really fuck with that. I told him, "Crank," you know what I mean? Like battery acid, that battery acid stuff. He's like, yeah, you make that on battery. I said, nah, we don't fuck around with that down there. I go, "Methamphetamine?" He's like, "Yeah, methamphetamine, man." I'm like, I mean, yeah, there's some down there, man, this and that. And this is an old school cat, bro. So I'm like, "What about you? You be fucking around out there in the world?" He goes, "Many ages ago, I used to make my own dope. Crank. I used to make my own crank," he says. I'm like, "Oh, shit." He's like, "That's what got me in here." And I was like, "Oh, damn, what'd you do?" That's when the story starts, man. He goes, "Murder. Try doing murder." So I'm thinking in my head, man, fuck, like, what'd you do? You know what I mean? Like, they owed you some money? He's like, nah. He says he's been down 30 years, bro. 30 years he's been down. He was like 55 years old, man, going on his 60s, bro. But look, fit as fuck. Preserved. He goes, well, no, they didn't owe me money, man. He says, "I shot my old lady by accident, but they charged me with murder." We already had some domestic calls that me and her would fight a lot, so when they had all the record, they charged me with murder because they said I did it on purpose, but I didn't. So Leonard starts telling me, man, he used to live in a trailer park in West Texas. So he used to live in a trailer park, man. You know, I used to cook my own dope, sell it to my boys, this and that, and smoke it all day. But me and my wife would fight a lot. Me and my wife would fight a lot. She would leave, come back, I'd beat her up, I'd leave, come back, she'd start fighting with me.
We don't condone this. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only.
And
I don't condone none of that.
one day,
I
she
just
went
want
on
some
Vegas.
money.
She didn't come back till like a week. And she's never done that before, man. So I'm mad as fuck because I know what they're doing out there. You know, this and that. You know, I'm like, yeah, I know. And I told him, you love this girl. He's like, yeah, I loved her, man. I loved her. I still love her to this day. I'm suffering every day without her. And I'm just like, damn, bro. It's crazy how people stay in that mindset after 30 years of prison, yo. So, he's telling me the story, man. And I'm looking at him. And his eyes are getting watery, man. And he has this cane in front of him. So he's leaning on it. And he, like, puts his head down on the cane, bro. While he's telling me the story.
That's a hell of a bend over. Like, he bends over.
He says he's been on ice for days. He's been smoking the shit out of it. Looking for his girl, man. He said his girl name was Shelly, man. His girl name was Shelly. Oh, Shelly, he says. I didn't mean to do that to her. Is what he always said. I didn't mean to do that to her. But he said that she came back. She came back. And he heard a truck dropping her off. And he looked out the window and it was a guy that was dropping her off. A red truck, man. And she was coming off and she looks like she's been up for days. So when she comes in the trailer, they start arguing. And she's trying to get in the house and he's not letting her. So he's in the front and he's like, nah, fuck you. Take off. You know what I mean? So I just wanted her to leave. I wanted her to leave. And she wasn't. She was there begging me to let her in, cussing and screaming, making a show. So I'm very pissed off, he says. I was very pissed off, very fucking ticked off. I was on ice. And this is what drugs do to people, yo. Stay tuned.
I appreciate each and every one of y'all for watching today's video, man. Make sure you watch the whole thing in its entirety. If you get bored with it, just set it down, go get you some popcorn or something and come back, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, man. Y'all have a blessed day. We out. Peace.